Hi everybody, welcome back to the Feynman Technique. Today what I'm going to be doing is showing you all how I create my videos. I've gotten, a bunch of requests asking me, how I produce them, what programming language I use, just how I do it, basically. And I'm going to show you. This video is probably going to be an hour long, but that's typically how long it takes me to produce a video. Today what I'm going to be doing is remaking my example number 2 video. Um, and I'll show you really quick what that looks like, and maybe you'll be able to see why I would want to do this. Oh, hold on. I'm going to open up Edge. Alright. Ooh, I have a message. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Alright. What was I doing? Okay. So I want to view my channel, and this is what, I'll go to Manage Videos. This is what example number 2 looks like. I must have misspelt it. Hold on. Alright. So this is currently what example number 2 looks like. Maybe you guys have seen this.
Ready to be an e-commerce pioneer? Our baked-in premium plugins give you the...
So you can see it has no music, which is typically, that's the format I have updated it to now. It will have some music by like Mozart or Bach or Beethoven or something like that, all public domain. And you can see it's a little bit rough compared to my newer videos. So I'm going to transform this video into the updated format. Alright. So let's just go ahead and close all that out. Alright. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to open up ChatGPT. And sometimes I can get away with using the 3.5 version. When I update a video, I typically use the ChatGPT 4. I highly recommend this program. It's so powerful. It's so powerful in what it can do, and you'll see that today. It's $20 a month for the GPT-4 version, and I believe you get 40 prompts every 3 hours. At least I do. It's different for people depending on how long you've had it. But anyway, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this list of pre-made prompts. And I keep them in Notepad. Alright, so we will open, I believe it's, maybe it's in Documents. There it is, Video Creation. Alright, so these are just a bunch of pre-made prompts that I have. Let's separate that. This is the first prompt I'm going to use. It says, analyze the provided video generation code to demonstrate your understanding of it. Focus on evaluating the coding style, structure, and underlying principles, while disregarding the video's content. Okay, so I'm going to copy that into here. But of course I need to provide some code. So this is the code that I'm going to give it. And I use Sublime Text Editor for my coding. And this is the code for my example number 7 video. And let's get this a little bit modified. Okay. So I'm just going to select the entire code, copy it over into ChatGPT, and hit enter. So now it's going to analyze it. Let's see what it says about this code. The provided code is a script for creating an educational video using ManIm. Yes. By the way, I used ManIm, which is a Python library for creating mathematical animations. So it got that part right. All right, and then it just goes over the code structure and style. You can pause the video and read this if you want to see. This basically tells you how I, quote unquote I, and by I mean ChatGPT, programmed the code. I am not a coder. My code is entirely generated by artificial intelligence. I just tell it what I want it to do. And I'm not going to cut anything out of this video, so it is going to be a long video. If you want to skip ahead, be my guest. Like I said, this will probably be a very long video. All right. Okay, so it's done. Now I'm going to enter my next prompt. The next one, let's see, scroll down. There's a bunch of different prompts here. Here it is. I require modifications to certain code blocks so that they match precisely with the format and style of the provided code sampler. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to provide it the old blocks from the old video and have them update those blocks in the new format of my most recent video. And I believe the most recent one I created was that example number, I think it was 107, example 107. Yeah. And I picked this one. I think I have one that's more recent, but this one incorporates latex and text into the same line sometimes, and it needs to know how to do that. So I provided an example. This is a very good example of how I like things done. That's why I provided it to it originally. Okay, so I'm going to copy this text over. And then at the end, it also says you have the freedom to adjust the content within these blocks for enhanced clarity or to correct any inaccuracies. I don't think there should be any inaccuracies in this because it's a video I uploaded previously, and I usually check them pretty thoroughly to make sure everything's good. So anyway, I'm going to copy this in here, but now I need to provide it the actual blocks I want to edit. And I am editing my example, I think back then I called it problem 2. So this is problem 2. Let's make sure this is the one I want to. No. This does not. Yeah, no, this is it. Yes, this is it. All right, but I only want the code blocks from it. You know what? We're going to do problem 3. This one is, this is the one where I'll show you which one it is. This is this one. Oops. Let me manage videos and search for example 3. Okay, show all. This one, Feynman integration example 3. Or basically, I show this. Okay. All right, so that's those are the blocks I'm going to be modifying. Now, these are the blocks. This is all I want to modify. All I want to do is modify the content blocks. If you want to take a look at this code, basically, there's a call function called create block, It has an explanation line right here and an equation line. So I want to update these blocks into my new format. So I copy that and I paste it down here, and let's see what it does. Good. It started it with raw string at the beginning and the explanation line. Good. It has timing, and it has an explanation scale and an equation scale. That modifies the basically how big the equation line and the explanation line. You'll notice that most of my videos have that format. I have an explanation line, and then right underneath it I give an equation. All right. And these things, as if you've watched my videos, you know they just scroll up. All right. And it looks like, let's compare this with what was there before. All right. Yeah, it looks like it is making some changes. Yeah, it's definitely making some changes. And I'll have to go, oh no, network error. Come on now, don't do that to me. I don't want this video to be that long. Alright, well, while we're waiting for this is another thing I do. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file, and it's going to be called example3. That's how I like to name them, example3, not problem3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this entire good code over into example3. I'm just going to paste it right there. And then I'm going to delete the content blocks. And Python is, for those of you that have not programmed in Python, it is extremely finicky about where you place things, what column you place them in, and where you start. Okay, so this is example 3, so I'm going to rename this example 3. And it's going to have the exact same structure and style as this video, but then I'm going to copy and paste these blocks and just see what it does. Okay. So I ran out of generation for this prompt, so I just have it continue generating. And you can see it's almost done. All right, let's just try one of these blocks and see what we can see if it works correctly. So I'll copy that over into Sublime. And it has to be right here. It has to start there. All right, I'm going to save it. And now I'm going to open up the command prompt. And I'm going to navigate to where where this example 3 was saved. It is in OneDrive, Documents, oops, Find and Integration, and it's in this folder. Now I'm just going to tap the up arrow to scroll through my previous commands. And this is the command line for generating a video based on one of those scripts. But we have example 3. That's the one we're going to be compiling. So I just changed this, example 3. And everything else is set correctly. When I'm creating them at first, I do them at 2 frames a second at 426 by 240 resolution. This just makes it very quick to compile. That way I don't have to wait around while it compiles a 1080p video at 60 frames per second. That takes a while. So I'm just going to see what it did with this first content block. Let's just see if we get an error. Looks like it's good. I hope we get an error at some point because I'd like to show you how I fix those. All right, so it just created me a file. So let's go ahead and open that up. It's an example 3, and this is the video it just made. Now it's not going to have the correct title at this point. See, it still thinks that this title is wrong. Okay, there we go. So in this video we will evaluate the following integral for all a greater than 0. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. And that's not the exact wording I had in the other video. So everything, it looks like it's going good so far. All right, so I'm going to close that and delete that. And let's just go ahead and just copy everything. All right. And you'll notice I don't know how to get it to use the proper indentation right away, so I have to do it manually. So you're going to have to watch me do this. It's a pain, but oops. It has to be this way. If it's even one space off, it will not compile. And then I always like to add another block at the end to say, see you next time. Oops. Oh gosh. What is it doing? Okay, I might have to edit that. But looks like it has a little bit of a run-on sentence. Okay, so this should be good. I'll save it and let's see if it compiles. If I was smart, I'd comment them all out and do them one at a time, but let's see if it goes through the whole thing. I bet it will. Like I said, ChatGPT 4 is extremely smart. Oh, by the way, so in order to do this, you will need Python. This is the version that I have. I have manim version this, and a new version is available. I believe. Yeah, it doesn't tell me what version of Python I have. Oh, well, my goodness, it's already done. All right, let's see what it gave us. All right. Okay, again, wrong title. We'll change that here in a second. All right, so we're evaluating the following integral for all a greater than 0. Yeah. We define f of t. Yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's what we want to do. Next, we evaluate our defined function at 2 specific points. At b, I'm going to pause it. At b, as b approaches infinity, for the remainder of the video and all subsequent videos in this series, we'll use the notation f at infinity and assume a limit was used. Yeah, good. Okay. At t is equal to 0. Yeah, we get that. Okay, that's correct. Yeah. In what is now becoming a familiar step, we apply the Leibniz rule for differentiation under the integral sign to differentiate our function f of t. Yeah, so if we differentiate that, okay, so it left out some steps there. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it like that because most of the people watching this video would not. Well, no, I'm gonna have to to show that step. I actually want to show a little bit more of the steps there. So good, it made a mistake. So we need to generate a new content block. We're going to delete this one. So let's find that starts in what is now becoming. So we'll find that part in what is now becoming a familiar step. All right. So now I'll show you how I get it to generate blocks from scratch. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to open up Desmos. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of copy, let's see, copy this part. Okay, this part's still good. So we'll keep that. And then go to Desmos. Say, we'll use quotations and, alright. And what is now becoming a familiar step, we apply the Leibniz rule for differentiation under the integral sign to differentiate our function f of t. Our function f of t, so we get f prime of t is equal to the integral from 0 to infinity of sine ax over x times e to the negative tx dx. It's actually the derivative with respect to t, and that is equal to we will get a negative sign. It will no longer be the derivative with respect to t, and this thing. All right. So this is what I want that block to actually say. All right. So now I'm going to say, okay, create a new block using the following as the explanation and equation lines. Then I'll go over here and I'll copy this, paste it, copy this, and paste it. Let's just see what it gives me. Create block, yeah, and what's up? There we go. All right. So we want that block to replace this one. All right. And now we need to make another one. And I'll say something like this. This integral evaluates to and then what does it evaluate to? Negative a over a squared plus t squared. Negative a over a squared plus t squared. And let's just check that. Let's create a function of t and let's just have it graph that. And it's going to require an a value. So, all right, that's what that thing looks like as you let a vary. All right, now let's see if this thing, if it looks like that. We'll call this f1 of t, and that's equal to that. And then sometimes you need to save them and reopen them. Yeah, okay. Well, as you can see, it only applies to the right-hand side. That's because if you plugged in basically this thing is not defined for negative values of t because you're required this exponential to be negative in order for this integral to converge. So we only get the right-hand side of this for reasons that make sense. That's why I stated at the beginning this is for a values greater than 1 or greater than 0. Okay, so that's a true statement. Yeah. All right, but this will actually be f prime of t. Okay, so this will be our next content block right here. It'll just say this integral evaluates to f prime of t is equal to negative a over a squared plus t squared. And I won't be showing that. It requires integration by parts and then equating it with the original integral. I believe it's what's referred to as a Phoenix integral because you get back the original integral as part of the integration by parts. So let's, I'll just say another, and it'll know what I mean. Another block from and let's just see what it gives us. Yeah, see, it's smart. It knows exactly what I'm asking it to do. And then we'll just copy that and insert it right below like that. So now I'll hit save, and let's just continue to see what other blocks we need to. All right. And now, just like in previous examples, we integrate f prime of t to recover f of t itself, integrating the derived expression we have. And it's being a little bit more wordy than I would usually be, but I like what it said. I like this. This is fine. Yeah, f of t is equal to the integral of f prime of t. F prime of t is this thing. And that evaluates to negative arctangent of t over a plus c. I won't check that because I checked it before. Yeah, and then to find c, we use f at infinity is equal to 0, giving us 0. That is our f of infinity. Well, it's equal to 0, so 0 is equal to this thing evaluated at infinity plus c. We get c is equal to pi over 2. That's all correct. Okay, with the value of c determined, our final representation for f of t is now f of... Yeah, that's right. So it's so far so good. Then using f of 0 is equal to I, we can find the value of our integral. Yeah. Yeah, I is f of 0. That's pi over 2 minus arctangent 0, which is just pi over 2. That's it. And there we have it, the value of our integral. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. That's not that much of a run-on sentence. I believe that's all true. Let's check it. And there we have it. The value of our integral is pi over 2 for all a greater than 0. And for a less than 0, the integral evaluates to negative pi over 2 for obvious reasons, since sine of negative a is equal to negative sine a. Also, when a is equal to 0, our integral would evaluate to 0. Yeah. See you next time. All right, so it's done. That is how I create... well, let's make sure that the new ones compile properly. All right. So we'll compile this one more time. We'll close this out. Delete the old file. And just bear with me while this thing compiles. It'll do it pretty fast. Once it's actually created, I won't make you sit through the process of me compiling it in 1080p at 60 frames a second. That takes some time. That takes like 10 minutes for it to compile it like this. It's much slower than this. It has to do more frames at a higher resolution. I just wanted to make sure that the content was correct and it all fit on the screen. Sometimes that's an issue. So we didn't run into too many problems this time, which I'm kind of surprised about. I very often encountered problems. We basically only had a problem with there not being enough of an explanation on one of the steps. Okay, so let's just see if this did it right. Okay. Oh, I will show you how I add music as well. All right, let's just make sure it added the correct things. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. In what is now becoming a familiar step, we apply the Leibniz rule for differentiation under the integral sign. You have no idea how often I get corrected on that. It's Leibniz, I know, it's not Leibniz. Rule for differentiation under the integral sign. To differentiate our function f of t, this yields f prime of t is equal to, yep. Okay. Good, that is all correct. And this integrated, I'll evaluate that, skip ahead a little bit. Yep, so everything is good, except, as you may have noticed, we still need to change that title. So this is how I do that. Let's go back over to ChatGPT, and I will say, change the following title to say, what do I want it to say? I want it to say, evaluation of integral 0 to infinity of sine ax over x dx. And I just wanted to say that. You can hear my dogs are barking. The UPS guy must be here or something. And then I need to provide it the actual title that I am changing. So we don't want it to say what it said before. We want it to say what it's supposed to say. So I just replace it. And sometimes, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. All right, we want to copy this. So now it says, change the following title to say evaluation of blah, blah, blah. All right, so now it's going to give me the proper code for that title. All right, to modify the title according to your request, yeah, and then it's just going to give me what it should be. All right, copy code, just paste it right over that, Control S, and all I want to do is see if this compiles now. All right. Oh, it didn't. Okay, so good, we got an error. Now this is all I do to correct an error. All right, I'm going to copy this error message over. And I'm going to say the title you just generated produced following error. And I paste the error. There we go. And it's just going to revise it based on the error code that was given. All right, this should work now. It usually doesn't require multiple okay, come on. Let's see if it compiles now. Good. All right, we'll let it compile one more time, and I'm going to choose the music for it now. And this is how, okay, so I have a bunch of free domain classical music here. Let's just see what this one looks like. This is the United, okay. Let's see, what does this sound like? Now, that sounds more like a King's Property video music. All right, let's check this one out. That'll work. All right, so what I do is I hit Control X, I move it to my used section, I hit Control V. That's so I don't use the same one over and over again, too many times. Then I'll copy it, and I'll go over to the place where my video is, and I'll paste it there. And now I have this batch file called merge video audio. I'll just copy that. And this is meant to combine 1080p videos. I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference. I'll show you what this thing looks like. Let's edit this. So this is what that batch file looks like. For those of you that are interested in seeing this, if you can make sense of this, this was generated by ChatGPT 2. I just told it basically what I wanted the batch file to do, which is essentially combine, if you're in a directory, find an MP4 file, find an MP3 file, combine them, and make the music fade out over the last 10 seconds. And it did it the first time. It created the batch file that was able to do that. And I don't even need to enter the names of them. All I do is double click, and it creates this video called output. Now it should be merged. Give it a second. Yep, perfect. You can see it will fade out over the last 10 seconds. See, it's getting softer, 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 softer. Yep, worked perfectly. All right. So that's it, guys. That's how I make my videos. I mean, the final step, of course, is to compile it in 1080p at 60 frames a second, and then upload the thing to YouTube. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There's one more thing that I do. Let's go back over to our list of prompts. There we go. Here's a prompt I use. Create a clear and straightforward YouTube video description based on the manual code provided below. The description should accurately present the main topic and key mathematical concepts depicted in the code. Should use simple, direct text without latex formatting. Include placeholders for links to other videos only if explicitly mentioned in the video content. Yeah. Yep. And then conclude with a humorous reminder for the viewers to like and subscribe. Yeah. Okay. So let's copy that and paste it into ChatGPT, and then I need to provide it the code that it's going to be analyzing to create that content. Select it all, copy it, paste it, and let's see what it gets. Now I very often have to edit this because I don't, it's not very good at writing. Oh yeah, see, that's a terrible, terrible title. Welcome to our latest mathematical adventure. I hate it when it does. See, it used latex. I told it specifically not to do that. So, you know, sometimes it acts like a dum-dum and it doesn't follow my instructions. Okay, so first of all, no freaking latex. Plain text only. Much shorter. Goodness, this thing is, man, much shorter and without fluffy or embellished, I can't spell, embellished language. The title should be simply the plain text version of the article I'm solving. There you go. That's a good title. Of course, I'm going to put Feynman Integration Example 3. In this video, I don't like how it says explore. That's fluffy to me. That's embellished language. I told it not to do that. No. Much shorter. No fluff. There we go. All right, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you what I do sometimes. I'm going to say, okay, this is good. Now, revise my original prompt. Let's go into my prompt. Create quotation marks. So that I don't have to tell you about how I want it extremely short. Oops. Extremely short. Or about the fluffy language. Also the thing about the title. And it understands sloppy instructions like this usually. I'm not a prompt engineer. ChatGPT doesn't really need a prompt engineer. It understands. Create a concise and straightforward YouTube video description based on the provided mana code that clearly state the main topic. Yeah. Be brief and to the point, avoiding any elaborate or flowery language. Title should be simple, plain text representation of the main mathematical topic or formula being discussed. Good. Include, okay, yeah, there we go. Great. All right, so I'll probably edit this a little bit. This isn't going to be exactly what it says, but that's basically how I generate the descriptions. All right, yeah, that's it. So for real, that's it. Now all I have to do is upload the video. I have to compile it and upload it, and then it'll be done. And shortly after this video posts, I should actually be uploading the video that you just saw me make. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.